Welcome to the October 2019 metagame discussion. Yes, we find this format quite annoying. Yes, we have a core set coming. Yes, we have a ban list supposedly coming this month. Yes, we have Dude coming in a couple of days. And, well, really with that, I will say that this is shaping up to be quite a month. And by quite a month, we're still dealing with the same stuff from last month. So we're going to kind of run through the top 5 here. And of course, for all your rogue discussion picks, leave them down below. I still have the last ones from last month we will cover. But if there's specific ones you also want to see for this, drop them down below. Let's dig on into this, shall we? Alright, so first big competitor sitting at the dinner table is Lunalight Orcas. Now, I've heard massive frustration with this, I understand. You can't Nibiru your opponent when your opponent has the thoughts you first. And, well, that's really all she wrote for that matchup. The thing with Lunalight Orcas is it's very good at going second. It makes Boral Sword Dingrisu, OTK, go. Alright. We also stop by Azathoth, which stops monster effects. No Ash Blossom, no Nibiru, no Ghost Ogre. Everything that you want to use against this deck is basically unusable at this point because your opponent just denies you basic application. Now, the biggest thing to stop this deck from doing its thing at this point in time is actually Lancia. With really the point of the development of this format, anything Orcas related, just Lancia them. Like, what are they going to be able to do? Yes, Lunalight can still produce large combo boards even without the Orcas combo, but denying them basically something that can stop them from resolving is very key. Also, if you're on the flip side of the equation, we've seen System Down and Mega Fleet be viable options against Lunalight Orcas, but once again, in the situation where your opponent can just go, oh, OTK out of left field, there's not much else you can really do. The fact that Kaleido Chick, the fact that Kaleido Chick isn't a once per turn, and she also sends its cost, is incredibly cheesy for the format. So Nibiru's not the way to go with this. Just time your defensive plays a little bit better. Hold on to those Lancias. I know your opponent can still cheese OTK you, even through Lancia, but Lancia kind of buffers that, at least to a little bit of a degree. So I guess you kind of take what you can get in your matchups, even at the end of the day where it's not necessarily the best thing. Number 2 on our list here is actually still Sky Striker. Phenomenal. So, Striker's been beaten into a corner of this format. The deck has definitely evolved a lot more since its previous iterations. There can only be one still also being a fantastic check right now to Lunalights and to Orcas in general. Denying your opponent that ability to fully extend, well, it works. Now, if you're looking to beat the metagame at this point, well, Cyber Dragon Orcas pretty much destroys this deck. I can't tell you how unfair it is getting continuously Cyber Dragon contacted out and watching my opponent put OTK on board because, I want to die. That's how that deck actually works. Standard, still, Cosmic Cyclone on the multi-roll pretty much is game. I feel like I don't need to put this out there, but don't side in Nibiru against Striker. You're a wizard if you do, Harry, and I will say that good luck if you're making terrible life decisions like boarding in Nibiru against Striker. Somebody actually made a post talking about justifying Nibiru against Striker. I'm just like, nope. Also, Pankratops is a really good card against Striker. I think a lot of people kind of underestimate Pankratops. Being able to put a large body on the board that can out any back row at this current point in juncture is actually really powerful. I think people underestimate a 2600 body that's a free special summon that gets to buffer through a possible attack and wipe out a back row. Like, it's really good. Outside of that, standard Twin Twisters, MSTs, like I said, Cosmic is probably your go-to. Also, Striker loses to itself when you desire away all 3 rays and your 1 Hornet drones. Who would have guessed? Desires can be a questionable card at this point in the format. Next up, we have Thunder. And in that realm, we're also going to talk about Crusader really quick. So Crusader doesn't exist anymore. Congratulations. Crusader Thunder checked off the map. We don't ever have to worry about it again because Nibiru's existence. We washed our hands of that. It's done. Congratulations. The heaviest combo deck in the entire format, struck by the release of one promo card. Great times. Now, Pure Thunder still does kind of lose to Nibiru, also loses to Sphere Mode, also loses to Dark Ruler No More, also loses to a standard Kaiju or so. Like, the strangest things I've seen Thunder lose to this format, like Mekk-Knight Crusadia, that's a deck, by the way. Barobi, Crusadia died. Yeah, it did, but column placement didn't die. So, when you look at Thunder, I just see infinite targets in big bodies. And the big bodies part is actually the easiest thing that, yes, 3200, yes, interruptions, yes, turning off searches. But that's only really good against Striker. It's like we're countering the whole metagame through Striker. But when you look at, honestly, the development of this and how it's going at this point, so if our only goal is to beat Striker, we just lose to Orcas. We lose everything else. By the way, your Thunder Dragon cards just get sent off the field by Dingrisu. Good luck answering that. Oh yeah, Crescendo outs everything. Like, Thunder has to be able to put game on board. And once again, the Maxi effect is taking place through Nibiru. You have this card that just denies you massive control. Like, I don't know, it's really interesting. Also, EEV is a very good card. It's one thing Thunder's got going for it also. Being able to just put large bodies on the field, wipe out Altergeist, wipe out, Salad back row in end phases. It's really cute, but there are way more counters to Thunder than there actually should be at this point in the format. So that was something else interesting. Then we also have Salad still roaring its ugly face. Now, our biggest problem with Salad at this point in the format is, well, it's the oldest problem with the deck, actually. If this deck goes second, it struggles. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. In a format where really going first is your key thing, Salad doesn't have a very good going. Well, okay, its going first game is the best thing it's got. Roar and Rage, reincarnating into something bigger. Next turn, smash through, recur back those negations. Most decks in the format have a hard time playing through those negates, and that's really one of the big things that Salad has going for it, even in today's format still. Now, decks still lose, by the way, don't bring in Nibiru against this deck. If Salad is going through that much, especially that many monsters, it's an abnormality. Alright, just putting that straight out there. Deck still loses to kind of the same things it did. Kind of, time your Ash, time your Ogre if you're playing Ogre. Like, it's not that hard. Don't bring in Sphere Mode, alright? Twin Twisters is still okay during an end phase that you want to disrupt something. And I'm very strict here on when I say end phase. If at a point you shotgun it and your opponent's like, oh, I'll negate that, well, it's going to be a bad time really for you. So that's one bigger thing that you need to understand in terms of the development of the format. Salad still does Salad things, but going second is still the weakness to the deck. Outside of that, like I said, MST Cosmics. Cosmicking their trap card on the end phase, if their opponent didn't blow up your back row for some reason, is really good. Not getting back things. Also, Gazelle at 1. So, they have to see their 1-up, and that's where Ash comes in. It's very good. And last on our list here for decks to hit is Pendulum. So, everybody and their mother was like, oh, Pendulum's the best deck to hit with Nibiru. And then you see Nibiru, and you're just like, oh yeah, Mystical Beast Cerberus and company can just stop effect monsters from activating the hand. So, that's a no-no. So, still massive combo deck, still does everything that it wanted to do in this format, still does it quite well. But when you look at the way that the rest of the deck wants to combo off, well, you can't Nibiru it. I mean, you can Nibiru it if your opponent doesn't open up the Mystical Beast Cerberus engine, which is really good, by the way, if they don't see that. If your opponent does see it, well, you're not Nibiruing them. Your other counterplays, depending on how things go, Sphere Mode is still the classic. If you're really worried about Pendulum, you have to understand that 1, the deck has to get off the ground. 2, the deck's greatest weakness is itself. It's like I said that about another deck on this list. So, consistency issues and itself are, well, the 2 greatest things. And if your opponent gets it off the ground, goes through the full Guard Dragon combo, does the full negate board setup, just Sphere Mode them. Like, it's It's not that hard. You know, sometimes variance just takes the wheel. Your opponent ends up with 9 negates on the board, and you're just like, well, you know, what am I going to do? Like, Appaloosa is a good card. Stops Nibiru, you know. At the end of the day, it's not like Pendulum's an unbeatable monster. You just have to time your disruptions quite well and just really not be an idiot when it comes to that matchup. So outside of that, Lunalight Orcas is still the best deck, definitely by a long shot until we get Impact, and we don't know what our TC2 exclusives are really going to be, nor we know the next ban list, but anticipation is telling me that probably doing something to Orcas, because I've been on that hype train all week. So guys, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think about really how to counter going into the next format. And, well, that's all I really got today, guys. Alright, peace out. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.